a Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast, and the the Patriots heard everybody talking smack this week after Monday night. The Miami Dolphins are the worst team in the league. The Miami Dolphins are in shambles. And the Patriots said, "Not in our house. You come to our house, we'll show you how to be exceptionally mediocre in front of everybody."
Mm.
What a terrible loss, an embarrassing loss against an ailing team that really tried to lose that game. But we found a way because we are the king of the stupids. And I put in the title "Relentless Pursuit of Suck." And that's exactly what we are right now. We are proficient in being horrible. So that was just I knew we would find a way, Dad. I was so worried. I was like, we're gonna end up winning this game. And I'm like, wait a second. We got the right guy to do this for us. Jacoby Brissett. He'll find a way to help us lose this game, and he did. So we got people in the chat already, Dad. Can we talk about them before we even touch on your stuff?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we got Anastasia. This was horrible. We as fans have to stop attending stadium games and buying merchandise to make a statement. The fact that they keep playing Jacoby Brissett is shocking. Oh my gosh, Anastasia. So true. You have to hit Crafts in the wallet because that's all he cares about. If you see the cap room we have, you can tell. All he cares about is his wallet. 13 penalties, 101 net passing yards, 4 and 13 on third down. And Anastasia, you can't even really count. I would say 46 of those yards because they came on
The last two plays.
two
Look at us.
yeah, so 25
Jinx, you owe me a
25
quote.
yards. Yeah, 25 yards on one, 21 on another. I mean,
On two
Anastasia,
times where they're playing for the Hail Mary. Exactly.
Yep. Anastasia, as bad as that looks, it's actually way worse. And you like take away 46 yards. So thank you, Anastasia, for coming in and sharing. I'm glad
Anastasia runs an amazing Patriots page, and I told her, we got to get her on the show sometime, that you'd send her a link. She said today wasn't a good day, so we'll get her on in the future. She does some great Patriots
100%.
stuff. But yeah, you're so right, Matt. Miami said, "Listen, Patriots, we're the worst," and the Patriots said, "Hold my beer." And then before they even handed it to Miami, they dropped the beer and smashed it. Okay, that's what happened here today. So anybody who's down about the Patriots losing or was maybe upset with me before the game, like, oh, what kind of fan are you rooting for the Patriots to lose? I'm not trying to be a jerk. This is why, people. You guys have to understand. This Miami team is as bad as it gets. It showed you today how bad they are. And we couldn't beat them at home, and once again, Jacoby Brissett throwing for 113 yards before those last two meaningless plays where Miami's defense is just way back in a prevent, literally giving you anything you want. Like my son said, do not you dare count those 50 yards. Make no mistake about it, Brissett, once again, 113 yards passing. I have zero doubt in my mind, zero, that the Patriots are 3-2 at this point. 3-2. If they started Drake May from the beginning, they absolutely positively win that Seattle game, and they absolutely easily, in a blowout, win today. There is no way the Patriots lose that game today if Drake May's playing. I'm just sorry. There's no way. They were able to run the ball, and they still weren't able to generate anything off play action or anything else in the passing game. With Kendrick Bourne back as well, it's just disgusting.
Yep. And I think if you listen to the local radio broadcast with Zolak and I don't know, Bob Sosi, I think that's who the play-by-play guy is. Zolak was like, there's so many holes, there's so many open wide receivers. They're trying nothing in the middle of the field. He said that pretty much every throw has been at the line or behind the line, and Zolak was incredibly frustrated in this game plan. And Van Pelt, the lack of driving the ball downfield. I mean, again, this is it. Were there any embarrassing plays for the Patriots today? The answer is no, not really anything that's like, oh man, that's But were there any plays that seemed like they were really trying to win? No, the two longest pass plays came when, like my dad said, the Dolphins were giving them to you basically to run out the clock. Hunter Henry should not have caught that pass. who I don't know. He's a vet who gets a false start on, what is it, 4th and goal. I mean 4th and 10. And then he catches a ball he should not catch, 10 yards away from the sideline and 10 yards away from the end zone. It's like I don't know. The situational football is not there. Anastasia brought up the penalties. It's coaching. How is this not coaching? I think there's a lot of pride here with Kraft. So I think that is going to save face from Mayo quite a bit, because Kraft going on record saying Mayo's been my guy for 5 years and all this stuff is Kraft putting his name on the line. So, I mean, wow, what a embarrassing loss. I I can't believe it. I can't believe this is what we're
Did you
watching.
see how bad Miami is? Miami is so bad.
So bad.
It's disgusting. And we just lost to them at home. It's just, but luckily we did lose. Okay. And, it's just frustrating because I truly believe that we could be 3-2 right now. Second place in the division, tied for first. I guess if Buffalo lost, did they end up losing today? I know they were coming back. So, I mean,
Yep.
think of what could have been. Think of
Buffalo lost today.
They did. Think about what could have been. We could be tied for first place right now if they just, started May from the beginning. Maybe signed one more offensive lineman in the offseason, not to keep harping on that. But I'm telling you, they win that game, that Seattle game, if May plays. And they absolutely win today if May plays. And I know everyone is, you can't put that kid out there behind this offensive line. No, I agree with that. But you can put him behind this offensive line again if you drop the right plays for him. In other words, a lot of screens, a lot of spread formations, 5 wide receivers, and quick throws, May. May, listen, first check, second check, third, not there, throw it away. We don't care about incompletes. You get a couple interceptions here and there, we don't care, but just get rid of the ball. Brissett holds the ball for absolute eternity.
Forever.
Unbelievable.
And when he has time,
he's getting killed, but a lot of the times it's because he's holding the ball for too long.
And when he has time, like there was one point where we checked down to Ramondre early in the first quarter, and Mark Sanchez even called out that Brissett had Demario Douglas open. He was outrunning everybody. Brissett decides to check down and throw to Ramondre Stevenson because, again, it's about not getting embarrassed. It's about being cool in front of our friends. You know what I mean? So I just made this. I just made this quick
on
meme.
Anastasia's chat. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Here we go. This is us. I made this right now, and the reason why I'm posting this is because if you look around the NFL, like my dad said, and what could have been, let's look at what other teams are getting to experience. So right now, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, 238 passing yards, which is more legitimate passing yards than Jacoby Brissett has thrown like in the last 3 games combined. 82 rushes, 82 rushing yards, a touchdown, and then we got Caleb Williams putting on a show, 36 points with his offense, 304 yards, second game this season, over 300. And you can say all you want about what May has around him and everything like that. But if my dad said, if we don't put May out there, how are we going to know if he's the guy? I mean, so many teams are having. If you look at the draft from last year, everybody at the top at the bottom of the draft with us last year is now succeeding except for us. We're the only ones. It's like, we're the veterans of this spot right now, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's just that there it is right there. If May's out there, I mean, who knows where we are? I feel like we're 3-2, and that doesn't even count the rushing yards, Matt. You were talking about with those 2 quarterbacks, So it's just infuriating. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We just have to ride this out, I guess. Hopefully, at some point, Mayo gets desperate and doesn't wait another week. Hopefully, the pressure really starts to mount this week, and he doesn't waste any more time. Houston's got a pretty good team. They get a pretty good defense. That probably holds Mayo back from starting him this week, and then maybe against. I don't want to wait an extra week. I want May in there now. Again, scheme it up so it's short passes. Let the kid let the kid know, hey, we don't want you sitting back there like Brissett did for 8 hours looking
Tracy,
to
please.
unload the ball. Yeah, the offensive line, they do give up some quick rushes, but not all of it is the offensive line. Sometimes Brissett just holds it for too long. Tom Brady made Matt Light and Nate Solder a lot of money. People don't notice, but I'm sorry. Matt Light and Nate Solder, they were average left tackles. And people are going to get pissed at me for that. But I used to watch every Patriots game 3 times over, and I'm one to study the offensive line. Tom Brady, with his quick release and quick reads of the defense, used to bail those two out constantly. There's constant times where those two got beat quick, and the guy never even sniffed Brady because Brady would just get the ball out so quick, reading the defense, quick release, and we could still do that. We could do that. Brissett's not capable of it. We got to get May in, tell him, listen, go to your first read, not there. Go to your second read, not there. Throw it away. That's it. And that's it. Don't get
Yep.
killed. We don't care. Throw 3 incomplete passes in a row. We'll punt the ball. Great. Let the kid get his feet wet and set him up for success, not failure.
Yep. No, I totally agree. So, I mean, at this point, we don't have much. We don't have much to go on, right? We got a disheveled offensive line. We have almost nothing at the skill position right now because Ramondre Stevenson, of course, is in the doghouse. And I mean, Christian Gonzalez. If we want to talk about a bright spot, I called my dad after that first couple of drives. Christian Gonzalez played a great game. I know Tyler Huntley is the one throwing these passes, so he's nothing really to write home about. But Christian Gonzalez with that interception and also just the versatility covering everybody on the field, that was great. Keon White, big helpful stop in that 2-point conversion, getting involved there. That was big. So those are the bright spots.
He also had 2 big penalties. So he's got to clean up his game a little bit. There's been complaints about him going for sacks and not, playing within the defensive scheme, going with the defensive play call. So he's going to button that crap up before he gets benched too, like Stevenson. Stevenson had a nice bounce back game, didn't fumble, picked up good yards today. He actually ended up getting more rushes than what's his name, Antonio, whatever his
Gibson.
Gibson. So it was, but man, you're right, Matt. Gonzalez was awesome today. Tyreek Hill did have a couple of, I think, 20-yard catches in the second half. You can't hold a guy like that down all game. But let me tell you something. He buttoned him up in the first half, and for the most part, all game, he did a great job on Waddle when he was on Waddle as well. And I don't want to say it's necessarily a breakout game, but man, if he had that second interception that Tyreek Hill just popped out, that would have been an amazing foot race. Holy cow, those two. Because that's what it would have ended up being if Hill didn't pop that ball out of his hands at the last second. So, but hey, Keon White, Christian Barmore when he comes back, and then Gonzalez, those are 3 excellent building blocks on our defense for the future. Again, we get stuff to root for. Polk with a nice touchdown catch at the end. If he's a veteran, he probably drags that foot in. He knows a little better. But what everyone's going to ignore, Matt, is that throw to Polk. I didn't hear has anyone said that it wasn't a great throw? The dude was wide open. Why are you throwing it so he has to make like an acrobatic catch like that?
Yep.
So it wasn't a great throw either. And that's gonna go unnoticed because the story's gonna be is Polk didn't get his full second foot down. But again, Jacoby Brissett, that could have been a better throw.
Completely agree. And I mean, Dad, I know we've been asking for May, but at this point, do you think it's too late? Do you think it's just, torpedo as much as we can right now? Do we want May to come in and squeak out a few more extra wins for us? I mean,
it's too late to salvage the season, really, because trust me, we can't beat this Miami team at home. We're not beating Houston next week at home. I'm telling you that right now. Houston's a good team. So you're right. Any win here on forward is going to torpedo our draft position, but there is something good that can come out of May playing. May playing gets him prepared for next year. It gets these rookie lumps out of the way, as opposed to learning this stuff next maybe off season, next preseason training camp, and the beginning of next season. So, yeah, there is something to be said. It will be a bummer if we get a couple extra wins if May jumps in there, but again, he gets that experience under his belt, more prepared for year two. That's what it's all about. If Kraft can ever pry his wallet open with the crowbar and the jaws of life and spend some damn money this offseason, and we have a good draft. Again, we're going to be high in every round. We get our star stud left tackle to protect May. There is
Yep.
good to be had for him playing this year. So yeah, I still want to see it, and I'm hoping May just succumbs to the pressure and actually gives in and gives the kid the job this week.
Yeah. No, I mean, it certainly would make it more exciting, at least from a fan perspective. And you talked about we need to. There's a lot of things that we have to look at, and when you're a Tom Brady Patriots, it's simple. You just look for the Super Bowl, right? You look for first round bye, home field advantage. When you are on the losing side, luckily we've had 1 year, or sadly we've had 1 year of experience. You have to look for how other teams are doing for that draft position. So Jaguars won today. That's good for us. That gives them out of in the win column. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And something my dad said: if I don't know if anyone cares about football, but it's important we start being aware of the talent in college football, because we want a star quarterback or a seemingly star quarterback to come up to where people really want, and they end up giving us, their first this year, first next year, maybe a couple second round picks, and that's how we end up like the Bears, who did really well
Yeah.
today. That's how we end up like the Lions, who did very well when they got all those draft picks from the Rams. So, uh, yeah, I mean the we'll see, Dad. I mean, the future's not bright because of Kraft, and it does hurt me to say, because I am a big fan of Kraft as a person, I guess. But it does suck that I don't know if we get much better until he's out of here, because I feel like he's going to dig his heels in with Wolf. He's going to dig his heels in with Mayo. So even if we get these high picks, I don't know the confidence we should even have going forward, but we'll see. I mean, yeah. Anything to say on that, Dad, before we move on to closing thoughts?
Yeah, Kraft has not had a great track record in making tough decisions. He was part of Brady leaving, obviously not a great decision. And okay, you could say that he fired Belichick, but there's a strong case to be made that Belichick should have been let go a long time ago. Bill was running this team into the ground. As much as I loved him and everything he did for the
100%.
franchise, his last few years with us was absolutely terrible. So now, like you said, Matt, Kraft, you know, Kraft, I had him targeted for 5 years and, getting really cocky after that first win and making all those statements. Now he's buried himself in this hole where if he, if Mayo is a complete disaster his first year, he almost has to keep him around because he looks like a huge boo. So
Yep.
at some point, does Kraft start getting good and making tough decisions and say, and admits to the public, I was wrong about Mayo, he's gone. I was wrong about Wolf, he's gone. And, everything that led to Van Pelt, he's gone. And I'm starting over. I don't know. A man's ego, sometimes it's hard to break. And a guy who's been around and has as much success as him, I don't see it, Matt. I'm hoping he gets incredibly humbled at the point where he has no choice, like he did with Bill, to fire
Yep.
Mayo. But I just don't know if it's going to happen. Things have to get epically bad for that to take place.
Yep. I we'll see. I mean, there's when you're dealing with these billionaires, they have a ton of pride, right? An absolute insane amount of pride. So we'll see if he'll be able to swallow that pride and make some tough decisions that show him to admittedly be an idiot. So the other thing that I think we got to start thinking about too is our offensive coordinators. Pete said that some offensive coordinators might be getting paid next year that maybe we can get a discount on. We'll see. But you see the offensive coordinators over in the Bears for the Waldron guys, Shane Waldron. He's been very good for them. And then Cliff Kingsbury for the Redskins, who have been very good. So I don't know, Dad. I think we need a whole facelift, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's it feels like a tough day and a loss, but we technically won today. Because I'm telling you, it would have been fool's gold, like I teased earlier. If the Patriots pulled out that game today, would you really feel good about them?
Not at all.
Beating like a garbage, what looked like a college team in Miami, they're just terrible. It was a battle of the suck, who could suck the most, and we helped our draft position. We put more pressure on Mayo to do his job and get better and turn this thing around. And again, just super conservative game plan. Brissett did have, I think, a throw downfield at one point, but again, nothing. How about a fake punt or something on 4th and 1?
Dad,
Do
dad,
something to
dad.
make it look
What
like. Do make it
what if it
something to make it look like you're going for the throat. You're going for a headshot. I mean, it's just
no.
terrible.
Dad, I mean, a fake punt, Dad. That's not leaning against the wall and bobbing your head to the music. You got to stay in your lane. You got to rock back and forth and bob your
Yeah,
head. You know, a fake punt. I mean, that's like you're actually starting to move your hips a little bit, and you can't have that. So there's no
yeah,
way we would ever try a fake punt because there's a risk that we might look a little bit silly, and we can't have that. We,
yeah.
we we have to we have
I
we have
love
to save
that.
face and be top to bottom the worst team in the league at fundamentals and execution and all that stuff. We can't try new things. So
It's
yeah,
such a great analogy. That is Mayo. He's just sitting in the corner of the dance floor
too
doing
cool for
this,
school.
hoping the woman comes over and does the work because
Yeah,
he ain't taking no chance. He ain't going out there and asking no lady to dance and break it down. It's not.
no,
He's just going to be
no.
ultra conservative and just play not to lose, which
Yep.
always leads to losing.
He'd make a great college coach. Maybe send him to one of these programs. They recruit a bunch, but it's not an NFL strategy. It's not an entertainment strategy. People are paying money, like Anastasia said, to go to these games and watch these games, getting the NFL package, all these things. Out of state fans trying to, all this stuff, and it's a horrible product. So yeah, I don't have too
You
much.
could,
I'm excited for tomorrow.
yeah. I mean, you could tell how disgruntled the fan base is. I mean, we usually have a few fans chiming in, and it's like it feels like everybody just shut their TV off in disgust. They want nothing left to do with this team. You know, hey, the
Yep.
tank's humming, the tank's rolling. We still gotta watch to root for our young players to develop. Drake May can come in, even if he's not anointed the starter, he can come in at any moment. Because once again, Jacoby Brissett took about 7 good shots today. So there is
Yeah.
reasons to watch. There is reason for future hope. We're just gonna hope the stars align a little bit for us, and you know, thank God
Zolak.
the Celtics and the Bruins are
Yeah.
starting.
Yeah. Zolak actually called out today on the broadcast. But just before that last drive started, he's like, "You haven't driven the ball downfield. You haven't made any plays. Your defense is disgruntled. This is the perfect time to put in a young quarterback who can get you some yards with his legs, give you a spark." And he's like, "But they won't do that. They won't do it." He was going nuts. So I really appreciated Zolak speaking up uh, because, again, as a fan, there's nothing like that stadium would have been rocking if May came in. You can
Oh
tell they really
yeah.
wanted to cheer for something, but they got nothing. So
Oh, the
yeah,
boost today from all the penalties and just everything. The third down failures, the conservative play calling. It's just lack of creativeness. I mean, holy crap, Scott Van Pelt. Like, what are we playing? Tecmo Bowl? Like, I think that, those are the plays he's basically copying from. You wouldn't know the
yep,
game, Matt. Okay, young,
yeah,
young bucks, but it's straight out of this old awesome place, Nintendo football game. Just
yeah.
very
I know
basic
he's talking
plays,
about.
fun game, but it's just that's what I feel like Alex Van Pelt is just drawing up here. It's just nothing creative out there whatsoever.
Completely agree. But yeah, I guess
No,
that's probably the podcast. I mean, we'll be back
yeah,
tomorrow. Who knows? We're gonna have a lot to talk about tomorrow, so we'll figure out timing. The Bruins. We'll try
yes,
and get some takes from people. So we'll see how it goes.
sounds good. Young
All
Cap,
right.
we'll agree on a time and I'll post it on Facebook for everyone Bruins diehards to join in.
All right.